Just when you thought you knew it all about zombies, here is 7 secret Call of Duty zombie mysteries. Over the last decade or so, we have seen tons of Pack-a-Punch camos. This is a camo which 99% of you have not noticed, and I truly believe was Treyarch trying to hint towards Black Ops Cold War in 2018. The Black Ops 4 Zombies map classified, if you Pack-a-Punch, you get 1 of 4 different camos. The camo on the gun looks really cool because it's animated, it's moving, but you can't really work out what it is. Looking at the files for the camo, it is easily one of the biggest foreshadowings Treyarch has ever done. We can see images of Hudson, Bowman, Woods, Steiner, Kravchenko, all incredibly important Black Ops characters within the timeline of the first Black Ops game. There was no relevance to any of these characters or the Black Ops 1 storyline within Classified, and these images seem to be upscaled or remastered from the original game. There was clearly a purpose behind this, but it goes even further. On another camo, you can see the blueprint for the original ray gun, but in the bottom left, you can see a portrait image of the creator of the ray gun, being Dr. Porter, who up until now we have never seen a actual photograph of, and even comparing this to something like Dr. Maxis, we never saw what he looked like until the end of Black Ops 3. This other Pack-a-Punch camo shows the blueprints for the ray gun Mark II, but if we again look in the bottom, we can see a prototype design for a ray gun Mark V. Some incredibly juicy ether storyline wrapped around your weapon that you would have never noticed. Moving on to our next secret mystery, is going to take place on the original Shi No Numa on World at War, Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 3. If you make your way to the doctor's quarters and interact with this bookshelf, you will hear this. Our favorite German, Edward Richtofen. But why is he laughing like that? Well, we only had to wait 8 years to get an official explanation where the Ultimus crew traveled to Shi No Numa to recover Richtofen's diary, and upon reading it, he begins to form his plans to defeat Samantha. Now, you'd never believe at first that just interacting with this bookshelf is actually the very beginnings of the Ultimus crew's adventure in the Ether storyline and where it all began. Now, on the topic of secret mysteries, let's jump over to another iconic zombies map, being Kino der Toten and the blank portrait. Now, for many years, we have all speculated on who this could be, but we are none the wiser really in 2022. Now, inside of Black Ops 4 Zombies Classified, there was a pretty big Easter egg where there was a mystery painting that you could reveal, where on the right we had Ultimus Richtofen, and after completing the Easter egg, the mystery portrait would reveal Nikolai Belinsky from the Primus crew, with the Ultimus Richtofen portrait now becoming blank, which actually pays a very close resemblance to the Kino der Toten mystery portrait. If we take a look here at what Richtofen actually looks like inside of Kino der Toten, you can see he looks like this. And whilst this is still the Ultimus version, it does look very different to the Richtofen that we see in Classified. My man has less hair, it's a different angle, it's a completely different painting altogether. Could this mean that the mystery portrait in Kino der Toten is another version of Richtofen this entire time? Let me know what you think. Here is another secret Call of Duty Zombies mystery, and one of the only ones where you have to get to a specific round to see it. And this is on Zetsubou no Shima, where if you get to round 50, without fail, outside of the map, you will see what's known as the distant monster appearing in the background, roaming across the map. There is no context as to why this monster appears on round 50, what exactly the monster is. It just is there, and it happens only on round 50 for about 20 seconds or so. We really thought this was the only time that Treyarch was going to add a round-specific requirement for an Easter egg, but then Black Ops 4 Classified came, and, well, that was a thing. Moving on, Tag der Toten gave us the ending to the Ether story, but it also gave us one of the most puzzling secrets in all of Zombies history, and it's literally called The Secret. And we only learned a year ago exactly how to get this every single time, and all you have to do is crouch at the back left of the facility flinger and just spin in circles until you're flung, and that is literally it. But swimming through this icy water abyss, we end up stood in front of Mars. It's the most bizarre thing that we've seen in Zombies in a long time. This will never get explained by Treyarch, but this is definitely a tongue-in-cheek play on all the theories of Shangri-La being set on Mars all those years ago. Now, to try and explain how this makes any sense, some people believe during Shangri-La you obviously obviously travel back in time using the eclipse. It's not that you're going back in time, it's that you're actually entering a pocket dimension version of Shangri-La, which actually exists on Mars. Fellow community member Kao Jitsu posted a theory during this map's release to suggest that Toten der Toten is also a pocket dimension, because the main character Pablo is both simultaneously a living being whilst also being a corpse. In order for us to exit the secret and get back to Toten der Toten, we're traveling through a pocket dimension, but we need a source of energy for that to take place. Now in Shangri-La, it's heavily theorized that Mars's moon, Phobos, is what pulls the temple through space and time. For it to do the same, bringing us back to Toten der Toten, we as the player could be on the moon Phobos looking out at Mars and using power of that moon in order to travel across dimensions, which is just wild. You'd never think this from just experiencing this specific Easter egg. It's crazy. Here is a secret mystery which literally 99.9% of you are not gonna know, and even I didn't realize this until the other day, but if you play Doris on Call of Duty World at War and you link up those teleporters to get the Pack-a-Punch, the voice you hear counting down, you'd assume is Dr. Maxis. You would in fact be incorrect. It's actually this guy you see on screen here, Dr. Schuster. We first saw him visually within the Nuketown Zombies loading screen, operating a massive drill, but he's also been in a ton of radios in Moon with Richtofen as they work together on teleportation, such as teleporting a walnut, as well as discovering how to power on the Moon MPD device. But it's crazy that it wasn't Maxis that was voicing these teleporters to the mainframe in World at War. It was Dr. Schuster.
Warning, the shield is now active.
Yes, Dr. Richtofen. We have the new test subject, a walnut.
Now for our next secret mystery, we're going to be talking about one which I don't think many of you guys have really thought about, and that is the original creator of the Pack-a-Punch machine. We've been using this machine since 2009, and I'm sure most of you don't actually know who created it. Now, you'd be led to believe that Group 935 created the Pack-a-Punch machine, with Richtofen and Dr. Porter involved in creating it. This machine has a much different backstory, where an old blacksmith in the 1840s called Jebediah Brown moved to a frontier mining town named Purgatory Point with his mother, hoping to give them both a new chance at life. Now in his 40s, one of the other miners went down to a mine and became savage and feral after exposure to a blue rock within the mine. This now zombified miner attacked Jebediah's mum, tragically ripping her throat out. He later laid his mother to rest, and he would record his thoughts onto a vinyl disc, then ventured into the mines to find out what on earth happened, where he was only there for a few hours, but when he returned, he was apparently gone for 5 days. Received a vision in his sleep of 2 angels that arrived from heaven, telling him to prepare for what was coming. Whilst they wouldn't elaborate on what this meant, they told him he would need to build a machine that would grant him great power. Despite having no experience of that kind of craftsmanship, the angels promised to help him, describing the machine as being able to upgrade any weapon put inside of it. Within 2 months, he was finished building the machine and was ready to show it to the town. A few weeks after, the town fell into chaos, many of its inhabitants becoming delusional and paranoid based on the blue rocks that he discovered within the mine. These angels kept talking to him and told him to build the Agarthan device, where he would require the blood of an elder god, an elemental shard, and a metallic vessel to carry both. Now, Jebediah was only able to craft the vessel, and he was instructed to place this into the Pack-a-Punch machine. Immediately doing that, Purgatory Point was transported to beneath the surface of Angola, which we now know as Buried. So Buried was the origins of the Pack-a-Punch machine. Now fragments of this machine, as well as schematics, were later found by Group 935 and brought to Richtofen, where he put Dr. H. Porter in charge of replicating the machine. And that is how the Pack-a-Punch machine exists. Kind of crazy, right? I hope you learned something new in this video, and if you did, let me know by clicking that thumbs up button, dropping your thoughts down below, and if you want to see more videos like this, just let me know. But here's another video on screen, click it, and I'll be with you in just a moment.